Hello everyone, my name is Prabhavathi Aligeti, faculty member of Roda Mistry College of Social Work and Research Center based in Hyderabad, Telangana. The subject matter and activities of today's sociology versus social work is an evolution from different phases of human compassion to human rights. To elaborate this, people manipulation is the stimulus for this process and it has witnessed different revolutions on this planet. Then the realization of importance of human basic needs and rights. Consequently, it is stamped as the responsibility of the government to enable the rights and the needs of people. Today, welfare is the concept that we are struggling to balance. The depth of human welfare constantly increases with the development goals of present society. However, children are my favorite subject in my work in the broad scope of today's movement of social work. I have an appeal in this forum to look and give a serious thought and direction to this episode, which came into light recently due to our Telangana police great commitment of eradication of child labor. Child labor is not a new concept, but a consequent implication of poverty, ignorance, and manipulation. Everyone knows, still it is nobody's business. Nobody comes to support the root cause of this problem. Sure, the problem is not an easy to solve, but one proactive step ahead results in solving the same in due course of time. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, Telangana police brought the antisocial and illegal child labor incident into light in the recent past. It is fortunate as it is overwhelming proactive gesture by police since the children are in and around us but not with us. However, it is unfortunate when we look and listen to the heights of pathetic poverty that the children families are putting up with. Consequently, non-cooperation of these families in this episode for obvious reasons. They are not happy to invite their children back to their homes as they will be deprived of the economic benefit that they get through them. This is not the time for debates, calculations, and blaming one another for a simple, sustainable action of accommodating or rehabilitating these children, impacting the problem positively. Now we have been experiencing the trauma of such children who lost their enduring childhood, unschooling opportunities, and many more such irrecoverable damages thrusted on them. Very many NGOs like Bachpan Bachao, Care India, Pratham, Closure Home, GOT, HCMSW, IRDS are working with the cause for children welfare. Now the need of the hour is to do an interdisciplinary study. Our present problem is a concurrent one demanding a sustainable workout. No one is born criminal, but the children missing opportunities to develop physically, intellectually, emotionally, and psychologically will be a threat to any country. They can hardly rationalize the issues interacting around them and become vulnerable to antisocial elements very easily. At present, we have been experiencing such threats by certain communities where ignorance and illiteracy rules their minds. Thereby, if we, with or without our knowledge, let go the present situation, it brews and pollutes, and our future generations, where we may develop economically but without peace and security. To address this problem, let us take this group of 490 children rescued recently from Hyderabad, Telangana state and work out a project that can help the children, their families, and the government as well. Somehow, a mismatch has been induced into our system, like we are juggling in a place where we need to just balance, running where just walking is enough, and experimenting where simple linking and planning is an answer. To make this statement simpler, we need to look at the following equations. There is a need but no resource. There is a resource, but the need is not linked. There is a need linked with the resource, but manipulated. There is a need linked with the resource without manipulation, but does not sustain. Now, let us apply the above said logic to our present project. We have over 490 children rescued but not welcomed by their families, and safeguarding such children is not an easy task for the government either. When one resource cannot answer the need, let us look into other novel ideas of sharing the burden among other resources. The present concept of CSR is definitely a possible answer to this project as follows. Rescued children has to be distributed among the corporates with accountability as a part of CSR activity. The corporates of manufacturing units, educational institutions, and such other accountable resources to government. The concerned HRDs are responsible to educate, rehabilitate, safeguard these children till they settle down in the society. And half-yearly feedback to state or central government HRDs on the overall development of the child. An yearly meeting with all such growing children and work out on the triggering problems. These children, of course, from time to time can be absorbed by these CSR project companies, but this is purely optional. There is a responsibility of inducting these children. There's a possibility of induction such children into our security forces eventually. As the time passes by, every rescued, nurtured, and trained child becomes a host for another such child. This process replicates till we reach a safe point for everyone. The whole process discourages child labor. Social responsibility and accountability are also in their place. Corporates have a challenge to prove their competence and move forward with satisfaction. The byproduct of these families is happiness, and the government's gesture to care these families ultimately to build up a better society. It seems like a long process, but definitely not, as we are planting saplings now for tomorrow's greenery. Following are some alternative approaches to tackle the problems of child labor. Study such vulnerable villages and adopt family planning projects to be administered with strict targets. Good schools have to be administered, and midday meals and free books have to be given. Special health camps for the children and adults has to be administered. General awareness is to be created among the families of how and why childhood is so important for children. Situations to be evaluated on a yearly basis. There is nothing in this world that comes free. Likewise, every project has its own pros and cons, but the question is which one of them weighs than the other. Here is a secret for the process of any project, and the secret behind this particular project is the transparency and the accountability on each child sponsored by corporates as an integral part of their CSR project. This is Prabhavathi signing off.